The case of Scott Campbell's mysterious death has taken another shocking turn. In episode 1, we traced his arrival in Kenya on February 15th, piecing together the events of the next 48 hours. His interactions with an unidentified man, his visits to Havana bar and restaurant, and the moment he vanished without a trace. In episode 2, we examined the arrests of 2 suspects, Alex Mutua and Albanus Mutinda, who were arraigned in court. The state successfully sought a 21-day detention period to allow investigators time to uncover the full extent of their involvement. Yet, despite their efforts, authorities are still unable to identify the mysterious man last seen with Campbell at Havana restaurant. Fast forward to today, and the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, DCI, has intensified the probe, now focusing on 3 additional suspects. In a public appeal, the DCI has called upon Kenyans to assist in apprehending Bernard Mbunga Mbusu, Samuel Musembi Kamitu, and Alphonse Munyao Kilewa, alias Edu. According to their statement, these individuals are believed to have played a role in Campbell's murder and are currently on the run. This latest development sets the stage for our deep dive into the unfolding investigation. New revelations are emerging, and as Lifelens TV, our mission is to sharpen our focus and bring you the most compelling details behind Scott Campbell's tragic demise. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe most of us are familiar with the term Beach Boys and what they do, right? But in case you're not, let me briefly explain, because understanding their role is key to unraveling the mystery behind Scott Campbell's murder. Beach Boys are individuals stationed at beaches, primarily offering guidance and assistance to visitors, especially foreigners. However, their services are not limited to just tourists. If you visit a place like Diani Beach, for example, you'll find these young men ready to show you around, recommend hotels, and even negotiate better deals for you. In return, you pay them for their services. But their work goes beyond just giving tours. Some beach boys act as middlemen for visitors with special requests. Some tourists might want bang. Others might be looking for company for the night. And since they are new to the area, they rely on beach boys to connect them. In some cases, the requests they get are even more shocking, which we will uncover in this video. Now, to my fellow Kenyans who frequently travel to their rural areas via country bus stage, you can probably relate to this kind of service. Picture this. You're heading to Western Kenya, Kisii, Kisumu, or even all the way to Sirara at the Kenya-Tanzania border. As you walk through OTC in Nairobi with your bag or luggage, a group of men will approach you, aggressively trying to direct you to a specific bus company. Some can be quite persistent and even annoying. Well, these men operate in the same way as beach boys, offering a service, but sometimes with hidden motives. And with that understanding, let's now dive deeper into how this connects to Scott Campbell's tragic story. Ladies and gentlemen, the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, DCI, has now zeroed in on 5 key suspects in the shocking murder of Scott Campbell. 2 of them, Alex Mutua and Albanus Mutinda, have already been arrested. However, 3 others, Bernard Mbunga Mbusu, Samuel Musembi Kamitu, and Alphonse Munyao Kilewa alias Edu, are currently on the run. What's even more disturbing is that all 5 suspects were posing as beach boys. But behind that disguise, they were running a well-coordinated criminal enterprise. Here at Lifelens TV, we carried out an in-depth investigation, and what we uncovered is truly shocking. The 3 fugitives had a modus operandi. They would frequent high-end hotels pretending to be ordinary beach boys offering their services, but in reality, they were carefully scouting for victims, waiting for the perfect moment to strike.
Let's take a step back to February 22nd, 2024. That night, a Nairobi pastor was walking near Nyayo National Stadium, looking for a restaurant to grab dinner after attending the Benny Hinn crusade held at the venue. Now, it's important to note that during such major events, the area becomes a hunting ground for criminals, given the influx of visitors unfamiliar with the surroundings. As the pastor strolled, Bernard Mbunga Mbusu, Samuel Musembi Kamitu, and Alphonse Munyao Kilewa, alias Edu, spotted their prey. They approached him, pretending to offer their beach boy services for a fee of 500 Kenya shillings. But their real intentions were far more sinister. As they walked, a saloon car suddenly pulled up. The pastor was forcibly bundled inside, stripped naked, and threatened into revealing his M-Pesa PIN. The suspects proceeded to transfer 55,000 Kenya shillings into one of their accounts, stole his phone, and dumped him. They were later arrested but managed to secure cash bail. But instead of learning their lesson, they went right back to their criminal ways, escalating their crimes to an even more gruesome level. Fast forward to February 15, 2025, Scott Campbell, a representative of FICO, in partnership with TransUnion, landed in Kenya for a product launch. After checking into JW Marriott, the scorching 28-degree heat made a cold beer almost irresistible. That evening, he decided to visit Havana Restaurant. It was there that he encountered a mysterious man, now believed to be Samuel Musembi Kamitu. We may not know exactly how their conversation unfolded, but common sense tells us that Samuel introduced himself and the services he could provide. And what happened next? According to previous reports we examined, Scott Campbell was a member of the LGBT community. With that knowledge, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out what Scott may have requested from Samuel Musembi, who was now operating as a middleman. On February 16th, Samuel Musembi made a crucial call to Alex Mutua, informing him that he had a client. He also alerted Alphonse Munyao Kilewa, alias Edu, to be ready. Using his own phone, Samuel hailed a taxi that transported Scott Campbell to a house belonging to Alex Mutua. And from that moment, Scott Campbell was never seen alive again. Days later, his partly decomposed body was discovered dumped in Makongo Forest. What happened in that house? What led to his gruesome death? So, ladies and gentlemen, having studied criminology and investigative techniques, I can tell you one thing with certainty. Every criminal or gang has a unique style when carrying out their crimes. All over the world, top investigative agencies like Interpol, the CIA, and the FBI use these patterns to track and identify criminals. Whether it's how they kill, the weapons they use, or whether they spare their victims' lives, these patterns help investigators connect crimes to specific individuals or groups. Now, after closely analyzing the 5 suspects, especially the 3 fugitives linked to Scott Campbell's murder, one clear pattern stands out. They do not kill their victims. Instead, their strategy is simple. They abduct or lure their target to a controlled location, intimidate them, and force them to reveal their financial credentials. Once they drain their victims' bank accounts, they release them. This was exactly what happened to the pastor at Nyayo National Stadium. Once he complied and they stole cash 55,000 from his M-Pesa, they let him go. Now, if you ask me, that's exactly what they intended to do to Scott Campbell.
How did Scott Campbell die? Many of you might be wondering, if they don't kill their victims, how did Scott Campbell end up dead? According to reports, Scott Campbell had an underlying heart condition. As the suspects coerced him into revealing his financial details, possibly beating him to force compliance, the intense stress triggered a heart attack and he died on the spot. It's important to note that government pathologist Johansson Oduo confirmed that the soft tissue injuries on Scott's head were too minor to have caused his death. This means the suspects likely never intended to kill him, but unfortunately, fear and physical assault may have led to a fatal medical emergency. So, dear viewers, what do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below. Let's have a conversation. And if you found this video insightful, please do me a favor. Support Lifelens TV by subscribing to the channel, giving this video a thumbs up, and sharing it with your friends. Until next time, stay safe, and inshallah, see you in the next one.